That's why. I'm gassed. I'm feeling pretty good though. Friggin', I got over this cold. I didn't get like infected with it too bad. But I mean, I got infected with it bad enough. I mean, as there's people dying and all that crap. I mean, I got the sniffles and freaking. It was weird. Like I mean, I guess it got about like another 2 or 3 more days to get it like completely out, but it just it came in waves. It was pretty weird. It was like a mushroom flu. Because anyone that's done psychedelic mushrooms knows it comes in waves. But you know, it's actually kind of crazy that there's theories out there that mushrooms are the aliens. Because mushrooms are actually an animal. It consumes oxygen. Wait. Well, it's a fungus. It's... No, it can actually be considered an animal. Like, fungus is its own breed. That's kind of the thing, like, behind it. Or the support for this theory is because it's not necessarily an animal, but it does act like an animal, and at the same time, it's not necessarily a plant because it doesn't perform photosynthesis, and it can grow in dark climate. It consumes oxygen. That's what's crazy about mushrooms. And at the same time, it actually a plant because of the way it pollinates with the spores. You know, panspermia. You know, and that's the thing is that if we were ever to colonize different areas of space, what it would come down to is artificial intelligence that's able to consume the resources of its inhabited space and produce replicators of replicators. And the thing is that in the code, that when things were at a certain atmosphere, well, I mean, then we can start to, or then the program could start to, you know, for every 10 replicators, there's one adapted life form to the planet. And that's why it's so important for us to study the oceans, because the ocean floors, especially the great depths of the Marianas Trench, 3 miles, 4 miles, like almost 5 miles deep. It's crazy deep. And the thing is that we go into some of these planets where, you know, all this heavy gases in the atmosphere, where, you know, at sea level, you know, that's our standard measurement. It's like we'd be squished in an instant. Like, what is it? Jupiter, Venus? You know, one thought at a time. And so, you know, that's the thing is that we could start to you know, check out these vessels, you know, different types of vessels and whatnot, designs. The other thing too is, okay, we know that there's life at the bottom of the ocean floor, and light is a zero factor because no light gets down that low. It's about pitch black. I don't know if I can say it's absolute black because there is light still shining through, just like you know, absolute zero. And like, so you know, to actually get a full black, I mean, that's devoid of all information. So I'm going to have to say that's not necessarily the case, but the thing is that, there's not enough light down there for, plants, for typical plants to survive, photosynthesizing plants, and the organisms that are down there actually consume the gases and live off the thermal vents, which is pretty radical and extreme. And so before we even try to investigate Mars or even the moon, because, well, the thing is, before even you worry about that, we have to clear up the space junk from all these failed low orbit launches, or just space launches and whatnot. And what was it, China? They blew up one of their satellites or something of that nature and created a whole bunch of junk in the space. So that makes it increasingly more difficult to set up a launch outside of a certain orbit, because we create our own asteroid belt, essentially. And we expected the things to fall into Earth's atmosphere, but things just kind of got stuck in limbo, and that's why there's all ways. And maybe that's how those Death Star is actually created. Maybe like people like, I got an idea. We got all this space junk that's forming a sphere around us, anyways. We got this global warming thing going on, and well, let's just turn all that space junk into a shell. We can start building infrastructure, and we can build our own atmosphere around Earth, and we can put boosters on it, and we can drive Earth around in our little spaceship. Wow, I just went on a kind of big tangent there, didn't I? What was I saying? Damn, because that was a good thought. I'm really, finally was able to get that out there. Finally. Anyways, about fungus possibly being an alien. Yeah, dude. Doesn't make sense. And I mean, especially the fungus that's gets into ants and freaking it spores at the top of it's, that's the thing, is it also acts like a virus. Look at penicillin. It's mold. Well, mold and fungus. Oh. Those are two things I need to research, because I don't know, mold and stuff. I'm pretty certain that's like a fungus. I know there's a difference, though. Anyways, no, and so I'm gonna include this because just the thought of the mushrooms, though. There's kind of a league of their own. There's no mushrooms in the water, not that I know of, but they thrive on moisture. Anyways, when I was in basic, someone was trying to do tell me some riddle or whatnot, and part of the thing was I don't know how we got onto it, but dude was saying that pine needles weren't leaves, and I'm like, yeah, they are leaves. And it was this big little thing, and fucking, this is how dedicated I am to win. This is when I was still on good terms with my dad. I freaking sent him a letter saying, hey, pine needles are leaves, right? I got into these people because I broke it down. I knew I was right. They photosynthesize and all that. My dad prints off a bunch of freaking like definition, like breaks it down and shit, you know, and sends me the copies and crap. We get handed out the mail, and I just start busting out laughing, and freaking, and I just start reading that loud, and oh, love the First Amendment. Oh, and that's when people started taking me a little bit more seriously. By the end of basic, everyone was saying, or there was a lot of people that said if it wasn't for me, the basic would have sucked. Embrace the suck before it's forced upon you. And yeah, I almost did get day one restart. I fucked up big. I was a military veteran. But that's a different story for a different time. Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong.